President Muhammadu Buhari sends federal government delegation to support Nigeria's candidate ahead of elections for President of the United Nations General Assembly. As the holy month of Ramadan draws to an end, correspondent examines the significance of Zakat al-Fitr in Islam. And Supreme Court in Singapore acquits a Nigerian arrested in 2011 and sentenced to death for importing nearly 2 kilograms of highly addictive stimulant drug into the country. These and more on Panorama today with me, Joseph Johnson. Hello and welcome to the program. Former Head of State General Abdulsalami Abubakar has given reasons for his absence at the 2019 presidential inauguration ceremony in Abuja. The former president spoke with NTA News after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari on the margins of the just concluded summit of the OIC in Makkah, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has details.
President Muhammadu Buhari received the former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, at the Royal Guest Palace in the holy city of Makkah. Their meeting was held behind closed doors for about 30 minutes, but details were not made public. General Abdulsalami Abubakar, who chairs the National Peace Committee that worked towards peaceful polls in Nigeria, was not at the Eagle Square in Abuja when President Muhammadu Buhari was inaugurated for a second term of office. NTA News sought to know why.
You have seen me where I am. I left Nigeria in the middle of Ramadan for my Umrah, and that's why I was not able to come. And the president is aware of my absence. So
what, having been here, what have you been praying for Nigeria?
Certainly we have been praying for peace, for our economy to return, and so that we can have peace and have a country that everybody can be pleased with.
So what do you wish President Muhammadu Buhari in the next level?
Well, I wish him well, and I want him to, like the slogan said, take Nigeria to a higher level of prosperity, of security, and of democratic actions.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari is back in Abuja after the 14th summit of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He was received on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, by his Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari, Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, the Permanent Secretary, FCT, Mr. Chinyaka Oha, and other senior government officials. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Ahead of elections for President of the United Nations General Assembly scheduled to hold in New York on June 4, 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a federal government delegation to support Nigeria's candidate, Professor Tijani Muhammad Bande, who is a permanent representative of Nigeria to the United Nations. In a statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, will lead the delegation. President Buhari is confident that Nigeria's imminent presidency of the 74th session of the UN General Assembly will provide a unique opportunity to accentuate Nigeria's voice on political, social, economic and environmental challenges facing the world. He said Nigeria looks forward to working with UN member states to promote international peace and security, prevent conflict, strengthen global action to tackle climate change, ensure inclusion, human rights and empowerment of youth and women among trending global issues. Now, Muslims have been told to look out for the new moon of Shawwal 1440 AH today, Monday, the 29th of Ramadan, equivalent to 3rd June 2019. A statement signed by the Chairman Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council, Sokoto, Professor Sambu Wali Junaidu, says the sighting should be reported to the nearest district or village head for onward communication to the Sultan through the following numbers now on the screen. The Muslim Ummah is also reminded of the necessity of paying Zakat al-Fitr. And no meaningful development can take place in a society devoid of peace. It is for this reason that Nigerians have once again been enjoined to imbibe the spirit of peaceful coexistence. This was the focal point of discourse at the maiden Ramadan lecture organized by NTA Asaba. Becky Katsina tells us more.
From all walks of life converged on the famous NTA Bamboo Arena for a noble cause. Islamic clerics were on hand to harp on the need for Nigerians to foster unity and love.
We must unite because in unity you have peace, you have growth, you have development, you have everything that is positive.
What I want to say is Allah says, La ikraha fi din. There's no compulsion in religion. I would not force the general manager of NTA to become a Muslim. Abadan. It's a thing of choice.
One of those entrusted with the responsibility of ensuring peace and tranquility in the state is the Commissioner of Police Delta State Command, Adeyinka Adeleke, who was presented by SP Lawan Salahuddin.
We are all one, and there is a wisdom by making all different, Muslim and non-Muslim. He has a wisdom behind it.
If you understand identities, you know my identity, I know your identity, I know where to respect you, you know, we will be able to live together.
The General Manager NTA Asaba is Richard Yabo.
We decided to do this. First, to fraternize with our Muslim brothers, to bring about that point that we are all one, irrespective of our various religions. That's our number one priority, our number one goal.
The Ramadan fast climaxes with Salah. In Asaba, Becky Kasimawona, NTA News.
In the meantime, as the holy month of Ramadan draws to an end, Muslims all over the world are enjoined to pay Zakat al-Fitr as a religious obligation. In this special report, correspondent Abdul Salam Jibril explores the significance of Zakat al-Fitr in Islam and finds out if Muslims adhere to the practice.
It is getting to sunset, and 65-year-old Malam Ali Ahmad Mekano is deciding on which place to feed and break his fast. Feeding in the last 1 month has not been an issue for him and his family because it is Ramadan, a month that one need not to ask before getting food from the well-to-do. Malam Ali is old, sick, and has no work to do, and so depends on support from well-spirited individuals. Now Ramadan is about to end, and his struggles for food will commence. Malam Ali Mekano will, however, have a respite of about a week or two before starting to look for food as Zakat al-Fitr, a rite of giving out grains to the needy at the end of Ramadan fast, will give his family enough raw food to feed.
This Zakat will be given to the needy wherever he is, be it in the mosque, outside the mosque, within the city, wherever he is, so that on this period of Salah, at least, he has something to celebrate Salah with it.
Every Muslim is expected to give out certain amount of grains on behalf of each member of his household.
1 sa'i is given out for each person. 1 sa'i is 4 mud with mudun nabi. 4 mudun nabi is equivalent to 1 sa'i, which is, according to some scholars, 4 handfuls. 4 handfuls.
This is normally given a day or two to Salah or in the morning before going for Eid prayer. Zakat al-Fitr has always offered succor to many families as it comes in large quantity due to the fact almost all Muslims make arrangements to ensure that they have grains to give out at the end of Ramadan to crown the holy month as ordained by Islam.
In fact, our Ramadan will just be like in suspense or hanging without any Muslim performing that.
I started doing it, I think, over 25 years ago.
For the likes of Malam Ali Ahmad Mekano, Ramadan does not only comes with spiritual renewal, but with a source of food that is willingly offered without them asking for it. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
Of course, that's Garba Mohammed Natala's report and not Abdul Salam Jibril, as earlier mentioned. To security matters now, troops of exercise Harbin Kunama 3 have arrested 5 suspected kidnappers near Sheme village along Ruwan Godia Forest in Katsina State. A statement by the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sagir Musa, indicates that the operation is sequel to credible information about the suspected criminals terrorizing the area. During preliminary investigation, the suspects confessed to be involved in kidnapping incidents in the general area, as well as sending their victims to their ringleaders based in a forest at Ruwan Godia. Consequently, troops further searched Ruwan Godia Forest and destroyed bandits and kidnappers' hideouts. The statement further appealed to the public to provide information about suspicious movements to the nearest army post or any other security agencies for necessary action. In a bid to reduce deaths from road crashes, NEMA is collaborating with Kogi State government to build an ambulance bay at Gegu Beki in Kogi local government area. This decision was reached at a meeting between the representative of NEMA and Kogi State government in Lokoja. Solomon Ayedein reports.
Strategic location of the state as a gateway between the north and southern parts of the country accounts for the heavy vehicular movement crisscrossing the state daily. Hence, the high number of road crashes in and around the state. More worrisome is the increasing number of deaths recorded as a result of those crashes. It is in the light of these that the federal government, through the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is collaborating with the state government to establish an emergency ambulance bay in Gegubeki, Kogi local government area. It is aimed at facilitating prompt evacuation of accident victims to the nearest health centers to save more lives resulting from road crashes. The visit of the representative of the Director General of NEMA to the State Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Sanusi Usman Yahaya, was to work out modality for the commencement of the project.
You know, you can avoid accident, you can prevent it, but whereby these two have failed, you have to make sure that the lives are properly managed, because the Director General discovered that most of the accidents that happen in Nigeria, most of the deaths, the casualties, are lost because of improper management. That was why we're collaborating with Kogi State government.
So at the instance of the states, because the House of Assembly in their resolution, requested the state government to ask for this facility to be established. So, and we're looking at what is involved together with NEMA so that the project can be actualized.
The project is expected to commence soon. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehin, NTA News.
We now pause here for some messages. The news continues shortly. Stay with us. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has arrested 6 persons involved in illegal trading and hawking of the naira, an offence which contravenes Section 20 and 21 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act of 2007, which prohibits the illegal sale or hawking of Nigeria currency. FCT Commissioner of Police Bala Chiroma said the Enforcement Committee is ever ready to sustain the fight against illegal hawking of the naira. Safia Neoma Uche reports.
Was introduced on January 1st, 1973, replacing the pound, making the currency Nigeria's legal tender. As the largest economy in Africa, one may not know that the abuse of naira attracts steep penalties. Hence, the offense of selling, buying, spraying, or even squeezing the naira is 6 months imprisonment or an option of 50,000 naira or both. Commissioner of Police FCT Bala Chiroma said the Central Bank of Nigeria Enforcement Committee on the abuse of the naira, in collaboration with the police and the Department of the State Security Service, carried out the raid at Day under the bridge.
Sum total of 1,948,016 naira informed, 6 suspects arrested and others at large are daily under the bridge. The suspects and exhibits have been transferred to the Criminal Investigations Department for further investigation.
I am into this business. I don't know where the man that supplies me with the money works. He only comes around and meets me out here.
200 naira, 50 naira, 20 naira, 10 naira and 5 naira denominations were notes recovered. The police say the offenders will be charged to court upon completion of investigation. Safia Noma Uchi, NTA News.
The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has revoked the airline transport pilot's license of a pilot for serious violation of the Nigeria Civil Aviation regulations. This revocation was as a consequence of the pilot operating flights on non-scheduled operations, while his medical certificate has expired. In a statement, the General Manager, Public Affairs, Sam Adurogboye, says during these flight operations, the pilot repeatedly exercised the privileges of his license when he was not qualified to exercise such privileges. According to him, the pilot's medical certificate commenced validity from 17th July 2017 and expired on the 16th January 2018, while another one was processed on 11th May 2018, which expired on the 10th November 2018. However, investigation revealed that instead of the pilot revalidating his medical certificate, he conducted flight operations as the pilot in command, in flagrant disregard of the Nigeria Civil Aviation regulations. The pilot has been directed to return the invalidated license to the authority's Director of Licensing within 7 days of receipt of the letter of sanction. The NCAA reiterates that it will continue to view very seriously an infraction of the Nigeria Civil Aviation regulations. Displaced persons in Sokoto State who cannot return to their villages due to insecurity are to be resettled at places other than where the incidents occurred. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal said this when he visited the IDP camp at Rabba local government area. Dalhatu Abdullahi has the report.
These are some of the internally displaced persons who have been taking refuge in Gandhi town, Rabba local government, for 11 months now. Attacks by bandits forced them to flee 11 villages of the district that share border with Zamfara state. Records show that over 100 persons were killed in different bandits' attacks in the affected villages. Malam Lawal Muhammad is the village head of Tabani, one of the villages worst hit by the bandits. He appealed to the state government to see the possibility of establishing another settlement for his subjects. Governor Tambuwal was at the IDP camp to perform his first function in his second term as the governor of Sokoto State. The event is the flag-off of the distribution of food items and clothing to the displaced persons to enable them celebrate the forthcoming Eid al-Fitr with ease.
The government of Sokoto State is willing and ready to resettle the people affected by banditry anywhere they are in Sokoto State to any settlement they are more comfortable with other than their existing villages where they have had these instances.
Items distributed include bundles of clothing materials for males and females, 600 bags of rice, 50 bags each of millet and sorghum, 20 bags each of sugar and salt, 1 million naira, and 5 big oxes to celebrate the Eid al-Fitr. As part of activities marking his inauguration, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal granted pardon to 20 inmates from Sokoto Central Prison. In Sokoto, Dalat Abdullahi, NTA News.
The Supreme Court in Singapore has acquitted a Nigerian, Mr. Adeli Chibuike Ejike, who was arrested in 2011 and sentenced to death for importing nearly 2 kilograms of highly addictive stimulant drug into the country. Mr. Ejike was granted an acquittal by the Singaporean Apex Court on Monday, 27th May 2019, and released with no outstanding charges. According to the High Commission of Nigeria in Singapore, Ejike's acquittal made history as the first time such a decision was made in a case involving any Nigerian. He was discharged and acquitted based on the fact that the prosecution had failed to establish that Ejike knew that the drug bundles in his suitcase were in his possession. This was because he pleaded not guilty of willful blindness or deliberately shutting his eyes to the truth of his possession of the drugs. According to Ejike, his childhood friend in Nigeria gave him the bag that contained the drugs to be delivered to an unspecified person in Singapore. Acting spokesperson at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Friday, Akpan therefore calls on Nigerians traveling abroad not to accept to travel with any bag or container that they have not personally packed by themselves for the journey. President Muhammadu Buhari has sent heartfelt condolences to members of the coalition of Buhari Oshibajo movement COBOM on the loss of two very committed members, Mr. Akan Ebenezer and Chief Charles Azubike Nwora Ojukwu, who passed away after protracted illnesses. In a statement by Senior Special Advisor, Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says Akan Ebenezer was the Deputy Publicity Secretary of COBOM and also ran a vibrant and pulsating social media campaign in support of the Buhari Oshibajo ticket, despite suffering from a terminal disease. While Chief Nwora Ojukwu belonged to COBOM and Buhari hung out, where he campaigned vigorously, both of them will be interred on the 28th of June 2019 in Akwa Ibom and Anambra states, respectively. Let's bring you sports now. Italy on Sunday knocked out hosts Poland from the FIFA Under-20 World Cup via a lone goal victory. Amanzi Marcus has the sports update for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Joseph Johnson. See you much